Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It's Friday. We're heading into a weekend. I hope it's going to be a good one for you. I hope it's a good one for me. But Chris hit me with a question yesterday that might surprise some of you. The answer might. He said, speaking of having so many years left, do you have a bucket list? If no, is there anything you've always wanted to do that you still haven't? If yes, you got any plans to check off some of those buckets, some of those items anytime soon? I said not too long ago, I don't know, I'm sure somebody knows, but there wasn't too long ago where I said I don't have a lifetime goal list. I've never really had that. And I guess I kind of still don't, but I think part of that came from, there was some sort of contentment with my situation, speaking about like prior marriage, prior family situations, where I just kind of became resigned to just being, like just existing. I was okay with just, I had resigned myself to just being that guy who just exists in a place and I do what I have to do to pay the bills and I'll just continue that until I die. But I think I said something to that effect maybe 2-3 years ago. It hasn't been that long ago that we had this discussion. However, I would say things have changed. I would say that in the past few years, I have become a little bit more confident again. I've become a little bit more dreamy. I have goals and aspirations. There are things that I'm looking to do. And I probably shouldn't admit this here. One of those things is stand-up comedy. I've mentioned it many times that when I was a kid, I was enamored with stand-up comedy. I thought that's what I want to do. And I never pursued it seriously, and I still to this day haven't. However, 6-ish years ago, I met a comedian at Gen Con. He is a professional touring comedian who happens to be into board games. And we talked, and then I talked to him about comedy because I freaking love stand-up comedy, and it's something that I've always wanted to give a shot. And he said, "Then do it. Just freaking." His advice was, find a stage, do it, walk away. If in a couple of days you find the itch to go back, great. If not, you did it, and you can say you did it. And I took that advice to heart. That is on my bucket list. And a place local to me, meaning it's in Morgantown, so it's like a half-hour drive, is doing a couple over the summer. They're doing a couple of open mics for stand-up comedy specifically. They do open mics regularly, and they'll take anything during those nights, but they're doing specific stand-up comedy open mic nights. The next one is July 3rd. I think it's the 3rd. It could be the 10th, but I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd because it was this past Wednesday. I think it's the first Wednesday. And I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least go, and I'm going to try to get my name on the list. Maybe I'll show up and the list will be full. I don't know. But I have, over the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, written some comedy. And my comedian friend, has edited it and reviewed it and given me feedback. And I've trimmed some of it, and I've gone over parts of it. So I have written some comedy. And I've done part of it for Malia, and she laughed and thought it was pretty funny. So I have material, and I now know of a stage with an opportunity, and I'm going to do it. And I have exactly zero expectations for that event. I fully expect to stand on a stage with a microphone, say the stuff that I have written, get zero response, walk off the stage, leave the place, and that's it. That's the extent of my expectations for my stand-up comedy career. I have no pressure, no whatever, but it is one of those things I want to say I did it. I did it this one time. I got on, I did the thing. Writing, obviously, has been a goal of mine since I was a tiny, tiny child. When I showed you, this is still sitting here because I haven't cleaned up. When I showed you my notebook from my teens, this isn't the only thing I found when I went through my stuff. I have writings from like when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I tried to write books about dinosaurs. I wrote a book about the end of the world. It ended up being like 3 pages. But I've had this goal of publishing a book for a very long time. And this year, that goal will be realized, whether it's sucks or not, don't care. By December 31st, I am publishing a book. So that is a goal. Music. I think that I would like to give music another shot. And I don't necessarily know that I want to perform like, maybe small family gathering type stuff. But I don't know what that looks like yet, but that is, I do very much miss playing music. I miss playing music a lot. But I think right now, I think that both Malia and I, our goal is to travel more, to see more things, to do more things. She's still young. We don't have kids of our own yet. We have opportunity. We have finances to do it. I think we're both like, let's go. And for us, that generally means let's go places where there's live music that we want to see, and then like check out the area. But I don't know. I had to think about it a good bit. Like, I don't necessarily have extrovert type goals. I mean, I guess publishing a book and doing stand-up comedy and playing music of some kind are like external goals. But I think that I have more like, one of my dreams for a long time has been to go fishing in the Finger Lakes of the Rockies. The Finger Lakes are like 10,000 feet in the Rockies, unfishable in the winter because you can't get there and they're frozen. But they have cutthroat trout that are native wild trout. And I've always wanted to do a fishing trip out there, spend 3 or 4 days hiking and fishing and just experiencing that. That is still a goal. I still would love to do that. I've held that for many, 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 many years, probably decades at this point. I would like to do... I've not visited the Grand Canyon. That's been a goal of mine since I was a tiny, tiny kid. I don't know why. I don't know that I would be as impressed with it as I was with the Rockies, but I'd like to do it. There's things like that, but there's not really like, I want to be on TV or what. My goals are pretty realistic, I would like to ride my motorcycle cross country. But the chances of that ever happening are pretty much nil. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't have any riding partners. I don't think Malia would be even remotely interested in doing that with me. And so there's basically no chance I'm ever going to pull that off. But it would still be awesome. I'd love to do it. Yeah, I'd like to visit Japan. I'd like to visit... I'd like to spend more time in Germany. I'd like to... visit Australia. Like, there's lots of places I'd like to go see, but they're not necessarily bucket list. They're not like, I don't really consider any of the things that I've just told you to be like, there will not be regret if I don't do these things. Maybe the book. The book might, if I, for some reason, I never get it done and I never publish it, I might have regret about that because I have said I'm going to do it. Everything else, it's something that I'd love to do before I die, but I'm not putting the pressure on myself right now. What about you guys? Do you have bucket list goals? I'd love to hear them. I'd love to continue talking about it in the comments. Hope you have a good weekend. I think that me and the kid are going fishing. She's been asking to go fishing, so me and the youngest, we might go do that. Haven't been fishing in forever. Yeah. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Monday. See you Monday. Today's word you should know to sound smart is vox populi. It's a noun meaning expression of the prevailing mood, concerns, and opinions in a country. In response to an environmentally friendly vox populi, more and more corporations are going green. Vox populi. VOX space POPULI. I like that. Never heard it before. Don't know that I would ever use it, but whatever. We're getting close to the end of this book. I don't know what we do after this. We're in the W's. There's not a lot left.